So why do people not jump in? Well, I know for myself, my own personal experience is I have a lot of hesitancy. It takes some strength and courage, so at least for me. And so it took a little bit of resolve for me to actually step out and start doing some block organizing, to do the meetings with initial meetings and going through all the planning stuff with the Oceanside Action Group. So that, I understand that feeling of vulnerability when you're stepping out, trying to make connections, is real, and you really are more vulnerable. However, I think from my own experience, the vulnerability is the thing that allows you to make connections too. Because you really sort of, rather than having the cup completely full, where you're trying to add water and just water just comes out, you pour some of the stuff in the cup, some of the water out of the cup. Then you have some room to do some things that are different and maybe more heartfelt, rather than just doing the same things, pouring the same water into the full cup. So that's sort of what I see as the biggest issue. There's other issues, of course. I mean, people just, the patterns that we have, the mistrust, and I think that those are real. I've grown in my mistrust of other people, partly because of the scamming that goes on my cell phone, on my home phone. You don't feel like you can use it for communication anymore, to reach out, unless I only answer with somebody I know. Otherwise, we just screen the calls. So that's not helping people connect. We are at a point where I think that we have this, I use the idea, which is around, and it's not my idea, of social capital. And I think that's the thing where we have to move to. So we increase the idea of social capital. So it's a level of trust that people have in their relationships, not only with their family, but their neighborhood, with their local politicians, with businesses that they use. Those kinds of, that trust is essential. If once that gets eroded, then it gets much harder to have community, or a sense of community, sense of acceptance, a sense of belonging. So I think that that's something that's a personal worry of mine, partly because of my own experience, but I also see it as something that is threatening. It threatens our fabric. Now, in my own mind, I'm saying, okay, so if we could just get to know our neighbors a lot better and elevate our level of trust amongst each other, like the contact that we do, doing some common projects maybe, that we would not have the same barrier to participating. We would feel much more welcome, we'd feel more like we belong. It's like the MP from Nunavut who's just saying that she's not going to be running for re-election. She said, in Parliament, I don't feel it's like I belong here. And that's my belonging is a big thing. Like, you can't belong and not have trust. You can't have trust without feeling of belonging to some extent socially. So that's the whole idea of social capital. That you have these relationships in the community or in the neighborhood that you can easily access. So that's sort of where I'm at on that.